My name is Derek Phelps, Top Talent Search Advisors. I'm the principal recruiter for my firm. I'm here for two things. One is to help you land your dream job, and number two is to help companies raise their bar in their hiring. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 secrets that headhunters don't really want you to know. So thanks for joining me here today, and let's get started. Number one, my goal is to really help you work successfully with talent search advisors and other recruiters in the industry, reputable recruiters. And a couple things you need to remember, a couple of keys to that. Number one is recruiters are not your friend. Let me share a little bit more about that. I'm an expert at giving interviews. I've given over 1,000 interviews annually for a number of years. And I've seen and, kind of amazed at what people would tell me in the interviews, things that they wouldn't think that I would pass on to my employer, which is really the company that they're interviewing for. So remember, recruiters aren't there to be your friend. You shouldn't have to share personal information and personal life with them. You're there to apply for a job. So be on your best behavior when you go interview with a recruiter. Headhunters and recruiters are there to help you. So let's get out there and work with the best, work with some talented individuals as recruiters and headhunters. But again, they're not there to be your friend. They're there to really interview for the job and to find the best candidate for their employer. That's who's paying them most of the time. Let me tell you a quick story that kind of lead into number two. This last week I interviewed a gentleman who was very excited about looking for a position, and about 10-15 minutes into the interview we had developed some rapport, and the individual said, the real reason I left my last job was I only want to work 40 hours a week. Well, the job I was particularly interviewing for, I knew was a production job and might take up 50, 60 hours a week as a salaried position. And, he was sharing that, he's trying to start a family and he wanted more time at home, and that's why he had left his last job. He really wouldn't be a successful candidate or successful fit for the job that I had in mind. Now, I shared with him that really it was probably more hours than he was looking for, and we went on to uncover some other things in his life that he might be a great fit for and hopefully help him land that next job. But, a lot of recruiters aren't going to take the time to tell you exactly why you were or were not a good fit for their company. The best do, and that takes us really to number two, which is remember that recruiters are looking to fill a position, and they may not tell you all the good, all the bad. They're looking for somebody with the skills and hopefully the best applicant, and hopefully that's you. But they're looking really to fill a position and to give a resume possibly to a company. You need to do some due diligence here. You need to discuss with the recruiter how well he knows the firm. Discuss with the recruiter exactly what are they looking for. Ask a lot of questions. And if you're asking questions, ask questions like, Mr. Recruiter, have you actually been out to the company before? Have you done business with them before? What kind of fit makes a successful fit with this company? And they should be able to tell you. Otherwise, they're just fishing. They're just looking for somebody that is looking for a job, and hopefully they can make a quick call and make some money and get you placed. That may not be the best place for you, just as my last candidate, which, again, he needed a job that didn't take those kind of hours because he's trying to start that family. Well, good for him. Number three, recruiters, remember, don't always have your best interest at heart. Great recruiters, great headhunters, great talent agencies love to never put a round hole in a square peg. They like to find the right fit for their company because they realize that the repeat business from the companies that they do business with is the most important thing. And that's what they're looking for, is really a great candidate, a great fit for a position for their company. And so they can truly go up to that employer and get some more business from them later, because that's where their bread and butter comes from. So recruiters, again, may not have your best intentions at heart. If I know something about the position and I'm not telling you about that, maybe they don't have the greatest benefits in the world, and you've told me you need great benefits, and I keep my mouth shut, it's not going to be a successful placement. So in the long term, you want to be working with those recruiters, asking great questions. Tell them what you're looking for, but remember, they're not your friend. They are in it for their own reasons, and you have to go out there and take some of that responsibility of doing your due diligence and asking great questions of those recruiters. Great recruiters are going to ask questions other than, not just location and not just what does the job pay. Great recruiters are going to be asking you questions like, what are you looking for? What kind of position fulfills you? What are your goals in your career path going forward? That's what great recruiters should be doing, and hopefully matching that with their companies to give them the best candidate for the position. That way it's a win-win, and I love those win-wins. Brings us to the next one, number 4, the 4 secrets. I promised you 5, so we're on number 4 right now. Why should you tell a company or a recruiter where else you're interviewing? Is it really their business? Well, let me put it this way. Disreputable recruiters or disreputable firms, as soon as you're out the door, are going to pick up the phone and say, hey, I understand you have an open production plant manager, purchasing manager, whatever position that you're looking for, and they're going to call right after you walk out the door armed with that information that you just came out of an interview with them and maybe they haven't filled it yet. Great recruiters know that's a losing ball game, because if it worked, recruiters could simply pick up the phone and call every unemployment ad in there and do the same thing. There's really no advantage calling on your behalf. Share with the recruiters, share with the talent scouts that are looking for you. Hey, Georgia, how you doing? Boy, are you back in the States? Are you still in another country? Good to see you. Great recruiters are going to go out there and work with you to help you find the position of your dream. That's what we're all looking for, is to fill that position for the employer with the best person possible. Now, again, back to the question is, should I tell them where I'm recruiting? Well, as long as it's confidential, and I would have no problem if a recruitee came up to me and said, hey, Derek, is this a confidential information that I'm giving you here? Let's keep it as such. Let's keep it between us, because I expect him to open up and to share with me where he's going, and to make sure that he's actually not going out to the client that I have him lined up for. So if we work together, we're going to find that best position that's suited for him, and I'll know really what he liked about the companies he's been interviewing with and what he didn't like about those companies. Again, never want to put a round hole in a square peg. We want to put you in your dream job and land your dream job. Number 5, contracts. I have seen firms out there that have you sign a contract that says, if you leave this company in the next year, then you owe us some money. Not a great idea. Be careful with what you sign. They can promise you the moon, but if it's in the contract, they have a case for it. And I have seen companies that will enforce that. So be careful what you sign when you're walking into a recruiting firm. The goal is to get you placed, not to tie you up in some kind of contract so that a year from now you're trying to get out, but you're afraid you're going to have to owe the recruiting firm some large fee just simply because you came to them to be introduced for that job and to land that job. The best applicants that are out there, the best applicants that I see, they do a number of things very well. And let me share these last couple of tips with you. The best applicants answer great questions. They answer the questions that you're asked succinctly. They don't go on and on about their life and their history and everything else under the sun, but they answer the question. Recruiters love working with somebody that just gives direct answers to the questions that they have and that ask great questions. That's number 2. Arm yourselves with some great questions walking in. Tell me about the firm. Tell me how they move up. Tell me what made the last guy successful in this position, and what kind of skills are you really looking for? Are you looking for a leader? That's me. That brings me to the next one, is great applicants know their strengths. Whether it's they're a leader, they're a great coach, they know a particular program, or they know fast-paced manufacturing, whatever it is. They may be bilingual, trilingual, or they may be able to just be the person that does the paperwork, the person you can count on, the person that they give the keys to the plant. That's what you want to get across to an employer in an interview. And we've talked a little bit about interview skills in some of my other videos. Finally, it is your responsibility to do your due diligence when you're interviewing for positions, whether it's through a corporate recruiter or whether it's a recruiter or even on your own. When you've looked something up in the paper, look them up, check them out on Glassdoor. Maybe some of your friends in your network, on your LinkedIn, on your Facebook, have worked for the company before, can tell you a little bit about it. And we'll get into that a little bit later, how to use Facebook and LinkedIn to help you land that next job. But do your due diligence, and remember, don't throw up on the recruiter. Don't throw up on him. You might be arming him with some information that keeps you out of your dream position that you're a really good fit for. Again, great recruiters help identify your genius. I love that. They help identify your genius. They help to brand you. They help to explain offers of companies, and they really have been under the hood in the corporations before, have walked through the plants, and can tell you what is a successful person in this job. And does the employer, hopefully the employer, has kept every word that they've ever promised to that recruiter. So great recruiters, those are a couple of suggestions. Be sure to have an open line of communication with your recruiters. Don't be afraid to ask great questions. Ask tough questions too. Again, my name is Derek Phelps, Top Talent Search Advisors. I appreciate you. Debbie, hi, good to watch you. I appreciate you joining me here today. I hope I've given you some good tips to arm yourselves when you're working with recruiters, you're working with headhunters, and you're trying to land that next position. So again, Derek Phelps, Top Talent Search Advisors. Please, there's some more videos about how to apply for jobs and how to get job interviews, things like that, on our Facebook site, Top Talent Search Advisors. Look us up there. That's our business page. Or you can go to YouTube. I do have some videos out on YouTube under my name, Derek Phelps. Feel free to call me,